Welcome back. Today we got the Baker's 7. This is out of the Jim Beam distillery. They also bring you the Basil Haydens, the Knob Creek, Booker's. This is part of that lineup. This will be a cool label to break down. This says it's a single barrel and it's 107 proof and it is 7 years old. So what that means is they went to the rick house where there's a bunch of barrels. They picked one of them. Each barrel carries around 200 bottles in it that they can fill. So they find one that has a specific flavor profile that they like. They bottle it, but before they bottle it, what they did is instead of giving it to you at barrel strength, which could be variable across all the barrels, one could be really hot, really high proof, while the one right next to it could be lower proof. What they do is they standardize the proof across all of these single barrels. So they kind of water it down. So they're all 107. All the barrels also have to be at least 7 years old. And the cool thing about the age statement on whiskeys is that number on there is the minimum. So there could be some out there that are 8 years, 9 years old. You never know. A drop of whiskey in here is at least 7 years old. And if you look at the label, the neck label, what you'll see is they actually give you the warehouse that it was in. They give you the serial number of the barrel that they used to fill this bottle. They give you the date that this bottle was barreled. So this specific one I'm drinking here was in February of 2014, and it was 7 years and 7 months old. So like I said earlier, at least 7 years. I think this is a cool look into the different ways you can do a single barrel. A lot of times what you'll see is single barrel proofs. Whatever proof it came out of the barrel, not touched at all, not filtered, uncut, just straight from the barrel into a bottle. And that's what people really look for. One example of this is this Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. So they did the same thing as this, where they went in the rick house. They picked one specific barrel that they liked and bottled it. But instead of watering it down to a specific proof point like this Baker's does, they just put it straight into the bottle at barrel proof. So this one will drink a lot hotter. So now that we know what it is, let's try it. Color, I mean, you can see it's not like the darkest thing in the world, but it's not light. It's kind of in the middle. Nose is really nice. You're gonna learn on this channel, my nose sucks. I'm not good at nosing things. The best I can get is when I have one of those, blender's glasses with a really narrow opening at the top. My nose works on that. But for this, I can really just say you can get the Beam nut, like the peanutty flavor that usually you get out of Jim Beam. But it smells good. That's about all I can tell you. Really good. So the funny thing about this Beam nut, people talk about this Beam nut flavor profile. I never got it. I tried a whole bunch of Beam products. I never got it until I tried the Knob Creek 18, and then it hit me. And it was like a revelation. I was like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be tasting. So now anytime I have a Jim Beam product, it's like the first thing that hits me, and I recognize it, that's what everyone's talking about, and now I can't get past that in a lot of these. But for this one, it is what hits me up front. But behind it, you get the classic flavors, like your caramel, vanilla. You're gonna get in most of these bourbons. It does have slight of like a tannin finish, maybe dryness at the end, probably from the oak, the barrel that it was in. And it has a pretty decent finish, lasts a decent amount of time. You can still taste it like 20, 30 seconds later. That's pretty good. So yeah, good product. It is a entry, I would say, into what a single barrel product could be. Not too expensive. And it tastes pretty good. Have you tried this out? Let me know. Let me think. And where does this rank for you in the Jim Beam lineup? For me, it's definitely not as good as Baker's, but I would take this any day over a Basil Hayden, for sure. Cheers.